So this week we're going to begin Unit 2. Unit 2 starts out with Chapter 10, which involves what we call counting methods. So 10.1, so we have counting methods. So throughout Chapter 10, we're going to develop different ways to count things. Uh, 10.1 is just going to get into what we call systematic listings. So counting by systematic listings. So again, feel free to pause the video and just read through here without my voice, and then we can kind of go from there. So pause videos anytime to make notes would be very beneficial to you when you see things that you think you would like to write down, or just pause for the sake of reading. So let me pause the video for a second and let me read a little bit here. So reading through this first paragraph, I'll come across this word here. Um, may have to look it up on your phone to see what that actually means. But again, the key thing is we're talking about counting. So basically, what we're trying to do is count the possible outcomes by listing them in an organized, non-repetitive way. So again, this relies on logic rather than formulas, and especially used when the number of possibilities is small enough to actually list manually. So it's important that we don't have a whole lot to count. Otherwise, it's hard to keep it organized. So again, if we have patterns that need to be identified before moving to more advanced methods. So again, for more advanced methods, if we can find some patterns, then we can develop some formulas. So as we move forward, you'll start to see what we call this multiplication principle, permutations and combinations. And since these are more advanced methods, we will probably take advantage of technology like our calculator or Excel if possible. I think first things first, we'll probably use more of our calculator. I did put a TI-84 calculator in this unit, so as we move forward, feel free to open up that calculator and try to model how I use it. So it can save you some time. That's basically what calculators do is save you a little bit of the calculations. If you already have a TI-84, then no need to use the link. So again, the biggest thing here is as we move forward, we're going to be seeing more advanced methods of counting. The challenge is we want to avoid missing outcomes or counting the same outcome twice. And this is where I run into some issues in the listing situation is it's very easy to overlook and miss. So luckily in the homework, we get to do this a few more times and try to learn from our mistakes. So one of the things we pick up on is, why systematic listing matters. So this is kind of a critical thinking process. It helps you kind of, in the real world, pick up on ways to try to count things. It helps us try to avoid duplicate outcomes. It also helps us to think about all the possibilities in a structured way. So there's organization to it. And if we can recognize counting patterns, then there's a way to develop formulas from those patterns. And that's how formulas kind of come about is you start to pick up on patterns and you test the formula to see if it matches the situation that you're trying to do. And again, that's what we're talking about, transitioning into more advanced counting rules as we move forward. So right now, we're just doing some basic strategies here. The first listing method is called the fix one variable method. Hold one choice constant and vary the others. So for instance, a sandwich shop offers, two breads, white and wheat, and three fillings, ham, turkey, and veggie. List by fixing the bread first. So let me pause for a second here. So a lot of times when we fix things, we want to kind of not have to write the whole words out. For white and wheat, I really hard to kind of just say W and W because you can't discern. So I'm going to try to just use A and B for white and wheat. So I'm going to first fix the white bread. So I can have white with ham. I can have white with turkey, and I can have white and make it a veggie. So those are my listings with the bread fixed. Then I can go over here to the wheat and I can say the wheat bread with ham, the wheat bread with the turkey, and the wheat bread with the veggie. So by fixing that, we can kind of see that there are six different uh, ways we can order our sandwich at the sandwich shop. So we can do white with ham, white with turkey, white with veggie, or we have wheat with ham, wheat with turkey, and wheat with veggie. So by keeping that first piece constant and fixed, we can kind of develop a pattern to pick up on six different ways. So six different sandwiches, if you will. So besides the fixed one variable method, there's also tables or grids. These are useful when there are two categories. So I'm going to stop my video here and we'll make a new video for this.